The prophet Yechezk'el, Ezekiel, chapter 10. Then I looked, and suddenly, on the dome over the heads of the keruvim, there appeared above them something like sapphire that seemed to take the form of a throne. He spoke to the man clothed in linen. He said, "Go in between the wheels under the keruvim, fill both your hands with fiery coals from between the keruvim, and throw them on the city." As I watched, he went. Now the keruvim were standing to the right of the house when the man entered, and the cloud filled the inner courtyard. The glory of Adonai rose from above the keruv to the threshold of the house, leaving the house filled with the cloud and the courtyard full of the brilliance of Adonai's glory. The sound of the wings of the keruvim could be heard even in the outer courtyard, sounding like the voice of God, Shaddai, when he speaks. When he ordered the man clothed in linen to take fire from between the wheels, from between the keruvim, he went in and stood next to a wheel. And the keruv put out his hand from between the keruvim into the fire between the keruvim, took some of it, and put it in the hands of the one clothed in linen, who took it and went out. Now there appeared among the keruvim the form of a man's hand under their wings. I looked and saw 4 wheels next to the keruvim, one wheel next to one keruv, and another wheel next to another keruv. The wheels had the color of beryl. Their shape was the same for all 4, like a wheel inside a wheel. When they moved, they could go in any of the 4 directions without turning as they moved. Rather, wherever the head looked, they followed without turning as they moved. Their whole bodies, including their backs, hands, and wings, and also the wheels, were full of eyes all around, even the wheels of the 4 keruvim. As for the wheels, I heard them called the wheel apparatus. Every one of the keruvim had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a keruv. The second face was the face of a man, the third face of a lion, and the fourth the face of an eagle. Then the keruvim rose. These were the living creatures I had seen by the Kavar river. When the keruvim moved, the wheels went with them, and when the keruvim lifted their wings to rise off the ground, these wheels did not stop going with them. When the keruvim stood still, the wheels stood still, and when the former rose, the latter rose with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in them. Now the glory of Adonai left the threshold of the house, and halted over the keruvim. The keruvim lifted their wings and rose off the earth. I was watching as they went off, with the glory of the God of Israel over them from above. I skipped one. Verse 19. I'll go back one verse. I skipped it. The keruvim lifted their wings and rose off the earth. I was watching as they went off with the wheels next to them. They paused at the entrance to the east gate of Adonai's house, with the glory of the God of Israel over them from above. Verse 20. This was the living creature I had seen beneath the God of Israel by the Kavar river, so I knew they were keruvim. Each of the 4 had 4 faces, and each had 4 wings, and what looked like a man's hands was under their wings. As for how their faces looked, they were the faces I had seen by the Kavar river, identical in appearance. Each one moved straight ahead. End of Ezekiel chapter 10.